she get that shit. See that Filipino, the Philippine son.
The Filipino son. This supplement is wrong with that stuff.
I'm saying, but you can still see the sun, and then there's peaceful, like.
I love it.
In the summer, well, you haven't been here for the spring, summer yet. Like this.
Yeah, because I moved in last July, so I kind of got in like at the end of it. But I'm really looking forward. Like I love waking up and coming out. Like this morning, I came outside at like 8, and I could smell that salt water. It was really nice. It's beautiful. That was like part of my manifestation. I just wasn't specific. I kept telling myself like, oh, I just want to wake up and hear the ocean and da 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 da. Didn't even see the place I put in my application. I was on them like, hey, did you check me? Did you check me? And then they rented out the one over there I was supposed to get, but they have this one available. I was just trying to get into the spot. And so then when I pulled up, I was like, right across from the beach, like I said. But I just it was this. Yeah, sis, for sure.
What you asked for, you get what you asked for, man. You gotta be more detailed for that. Yeah, man. Caremore Sundays tour been going great. We wanted to give y'all a little backstory about a couple of the vendors. So one of the first vendors we wanted to reach out to was Morofiyah. You know, they've been killing the tour. They were with us since the beginning. You know, they got clients, they got customers who've been coming from different cities to come see them, seeing them on Instagram. You know, and just a little bit more info and backstory about them, like I said. So it's Caremore Core. Yeah. Morofiyah here.
I'm just peeling some potatoes for adobo. We're making adobo.
Adobo.
And it's with carrots, potatoes, and for meat we do oyster mushrooms. But today we're doing a bunch of different mushrooms.
Alright.
And we're also adding eggplant.
Okay. Alright, that's different. So adobo, what kind of culture is that food from? Like, where does that come from?
From the Philippines.
From the Philippines, okay. So you from the Philippines?
You know, I was born there. I came here in 2001, September 23, 2001.
Okay. So do you remember a lot of the ways that you with a lot of foods that were prepared back when you were a child, like with your grandma or your auntie or anybody around you were preparing?
Yeah, I mean a lot of them definitely had pork, chicken, and all that.
Oh, so you were eating pork and chicken, like you were eting meat a lot. So it wasn't like a vegan.
No, it wasn't like a lot too. I was definitely eating a lot of foods because they were just around us. It was just a mango tree, coconut trees, senthol tree. It's a bunch, and a jackfruit tree.
Okay.
So we had a bunch of fruit trees. Meat is like expensive, so you had to like go into town and get that shit. Like for fish, I ate more fish than like meat, but on like special occasions, like if my aunt was in town or something like that, like they would cook like chicken feet.
Chicken feet?
Yeah.
I ain't never had no chicken feet.
It's like tomato based. It got potatoes and carrots and shit like that too. But yeah, nah.
So is that how y'all eat when you first came over here?
Nah, we was eating box mashed potatoes.
Y'all eating like Americans for real?
Yeah, pretty much. It fucked me up though, like. Yeah. Excuse me.
Okay, so we got Miss Lacey over here as well. She's the other half of Morofiyah. So we power pack to the combo. So she gonna share a little bit about what they got going on as well.
Yeah, I got ready to go.
So where you from, Lacey?
Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay. What got you in the cooking?
Well, you know, I have like Filipino roots in me as well. My grandmother on my dad's side. Went vegan like 2 years ago. I didn't really know what I was doing. It was really hard. But I had like my roommates, they were vegan, so then they started like giving me different substitutions and stuff. And it was just like wanting to put it out there. Like me and sis were talking about it because we actually got back up together like 2 years ago. We've known each other since Bayview days, like when we were
since
elementary school.
That's crazy.
But so many years went by. Then we got reconnected 2 years ago, and I'm like, you're vegan too? And when I tried her pancit, like that was it for me. So then kind of just, you know, like you really help give us that like propel like forward to actually do it, because we kept talking about doing it and I'm like, no, we gotta have it planned out, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. And then you had your first More Sundays, so she's like, sis, you trying to get on? And I'm like, let's go. And it's been cool since then, like just putting it out here to everybody. That was a long answer for your question, I'm sorry.
So what made you want to go eat? So you like cooking, I can tell. So what made you want to be vegan though?
I had got sick from eating like some beef because I didn't eat beef really. I got sick. I was like, all right, done with the beef. I had roommates who were vegan, so like when you switch to plant-based, it's a whole new different vibe. Like if you smell meat getting cooked, you'll kind of like feel sick.
Yeah.
So like living in their house.
You felt like that initially, like after like months of being.
Yeah, after months. But
because I still can't sometimes, you know, I could possibly eat some meat sometimes. I don't feel like that initially. So that's what I was saying. Like how long did it take for you to get to that point?
Maybe like 6 months in.
Like 6 months.
Yeah.
And you were being like completely vegan, like everything?
I went like pescatarian with just fish. Then I went vegetarian.
If you're still around people that's like, you know, still eating it and like it's still being cooked, and you know, it's not gonna bother you for real. But like if you're used to not like cooking it and not smelling it at all for a while, it does like make a difference for sure. Like you will feel some type of way, like you will be sick.
Yeah, no, you're right. Though. I feel bloated sometimes now if I eat it, but I don't feel no type of way if I just smell it. Though. I can smell it. I can smell the chicken, smell the fish. No, shark food is good. Though. That's why I love it.
Thank you.
That's why I love it. So what you got over here? So you already prepared some of the vegetables.
Yep. So while I was getting ready, like I prepped this adobo. It has carrots. It has potatoes, garlic, onion, which is like the base. And then sis is cutting the potatoes for us. Waiting for this pan to heat up, and we're gonna add the oyster mushroom, which is pretty much like the meat of the dish.
Okay. So you use the oyster, like you said, that's like the meat, that's the protein right there.
Okay, so like I know the portobello, that kind of is your meaty flavor.
Yeah, let me make this. Separate it.
Portobello is more like the meaty. So with the Philly cheesesteak lumpia that I'll do, I add portobello in there because it's kind of like the steak type of flavoring to it. Yeah. These I feel like are kind of neutral. If they take on the taste of whatever you put in.
So what's your favorite dish to make? Your favorite vegan dish to make?
My favorite one? There's so many.
So many? Matter of fact, what was the first vegan dish you had that you remember like this was like, oh, I can actually stay vegan. I can
tell you what made me go vegan for sure.
What was it?
I came home, like, okay, that morning, I like went and ran some errands. Starbucks has these little things, and like this is just to be honest, like I had ate these little things from Starbucks. It's like an egg cup with like vegetables in there. Yeah, ew, right? So
egg cup at Starbucks?
Yeah, it's like these little, kind of like a muffin tin, like an egg cup. So I ate half of it, and I was like, nah, this ain't it. I get home that afternoon, and my roommate at the time, she's like, sis, come try this chickpea omelet that I made. And as soon as I bit it, I was like, I'll go with vegan today. And that's when I cut out like the milk and the cheese, because that was the last thing for me.
Fish was the last thing for me, y'all.
Fish.
And shrimp, like I love me some seafood.
How do you?
Yeah, I still love some good seafood, man. Some shrimp, some fish, some crab cakes. Oh, man, I ain't gonna lie, it's hard to get away from those things.
But no, that Verde crab cake though.
Right, shout out to Verde. He made some of the best vegan crab cakes. And sushi, I never even ate sushi regularly. Like I would never go to the store and buy no sushi. But I had his sushi and bought it another time after that. For real, what? Two whole packages the second time though, like 2 meals the second time.
Then you ain't telling me you ain't give me no funnel cake though.
I was about to.
Right on this player.
And the funnel cake was good too. Yeah. Alright, so back to you said that was your favorite meal, or the meal that got you on being a vegan. What's your favorite meal you can say to this day though? Like your go-to meal when it's time to just make something.
Usually, it kind of depends on the season, honestly. Because I feel like in the summer, I want to eat something lighter, like some salads, quinoa type of deal. But I always love rice. So like really rice, that garlic bok choy, like oyster mushrooms, and then you can just like flavor it with whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just be in here creating stuff.
Now that's the best part about being a cook though, or being a chef though, that you can create it however you want. Just throw your own seasoning, your own portions in it, and it's like how it tastes to you. And most of the food nowadays, or most of the food I realize is really just the seasonings that you really are craving though, like what that you really enjoy while you're eating it though.
Definitely
if you can make it taste like chicken, that's all that matters to me.
It is. It definitely is the seasoning. It's not even the meat. These are just mushrooms.
So how have y'all been able to stay vegan so long though? Because like you said, being around other people who's not vegan and not having vegan options as accessible, it's not as cheap. Like how have y'all been able to stay vegan so long though? Is it because it just feels better? Or is it something like, is it a bigger purpose behind it? Like you trying to influence your children? Like what's the reasoning behind it?
When I was getting closer to becoming vegan, my daughter was 2 at the time, and I was still eating meat. So I'm like, this is a hypocritical thing if I'm eating meat but she's not, because I raised her vegetarian. That was a big thing. Honestly, like, just the different stuff that you can do with plants, and vegetables, it's endless. So I think it's always exciting to cook new stuff. And for me, it really is like a spiritual perspective. Like, I did a paper on factory farming and just like those animals' conditions. And I'm like, can you imagine as soon as you're born, you're like this and you don't have no room to even turn. Like that's how the chickens are in the houses. And then the way like they let me stop talking about it while I'm cooking because energy transfer is real.
Right. That's exactly what I was about to say though. Energy transfer. So like you said, when they're born like that in those conditions where they're not even feeling good at all, they're sad, they're going through anxiety and depression and all these feelings. And then they kill that animal. And that energy is being transferred from being that animal to now you. Now you having these mood swings and you feeling some type of way, but you're not even knowing why you're feeling these ways. Or you're breaking out. Yeah, I understand. It's a lot of logic to it though. You right though. We don't think that deep to it,
But I mean, the more you know though, the better.
Like, the more you know, you're right.
A lot of people don't understand that though, and I think it's awesome that you got that right there, because that's truly what it is. It's like an energy transfer. If I'm eating something that was in fear its last second of living, and now it's like dead, what kind of vital energy is that going to feed me? So I'd rather eat things that haven't been harmed. I don't know how plants feel though when you like pick them. If they get hurt. No, they be like, eat me, eat me.
That's good. So, of course y'all love being vegan. It feels good to you. You understand the impact of killing the animals and everything. Like what made y'all want to turn this to a business though? Like actually, okay, we're gonna actually feed this to our people, make our community better, and put some money in y'all pockets.
You want to take the other one, sis? Or second batch? Yeah, I heard you.
I don't want to like overdo it so they can actually get like first and cooked.
Okay. I got seasoning for.
Did you season it already?
Man, you can smell what I smell, man. Ooh, that smell like a grandma's kitchen in here, boy. For real. On Sunday evening, boy, with football on the TV. For real, that's what it smells like in here. For real. Yeah, it smells
These are my spices.
Okay, check out some of these spices.
To get all organic spices. That's not organic. I won't say that. But yeah, this was a big investment though. When I first like got in on it, it was probably like $100 I spent on some spices.
$100?
Yeah.
How long?
That was at all at one time.
How long did it probably last you? Like 6 months? A year?
Not the way we cook now for Caramore Sundays.
Okay, of course.
But yeah, if it's just like you, it will probably last like 3 months, maybe. Just depending on how heavy you are with this. My main thing I go through is the garlic and onion powder.
Yeah, I like that Himalayan salt.
Yeah, that's so much better. Oh, sorry. Another question was what got us into like creating it as a business.
Yeah, turning it into a business.
Really just like that community aspect was something that brings people together. That's food. And good food at that, you know, healthy food. So wanting to like put that out to people because I'd be excited about my own food and honest too. So it's like we're excited. We want to share the wealth with everybody else. And like we actually had like a girl who went vegan, I think for a couple years, and she pulled up to Utopia Penny at one of our pop-ups we had there, and she was so lit, like so happy that we had Filipino food. It was pretty cool.
What did she say when she had it?
Oh, she was dancing.
She was about to cry.
She was about to cry.
I'm about to cry, y'all.
Yeah.
She was about to cry.
And she was dancing. She was like,
Hey.
it was lit.
That's crazy though. Did she know y'all was there already?
Yeah, she had saw the post.
Did you put any on there?
I didn't put garlic or onion. And I don't want to put these in there because they're different. Oh, put it in the other one.
It doesn't matter.
These are gnocchi, right?
Have you tried them before? Like, does it have a specific taste?
I haven't, so that's why I don't know. I think they're more like crab. I've seen the gnocchi mushroom used for crab cakes.
So what y'all doing right now? Y'all just like letting the mushrooms like simmer? Like what's going on?
Frying them.
Frying, okay.
Frying them like they get that nice crisp on it. Chewy. Just for like that texture. Yeah. Do the mushrooms first and then like put them off to the side and then add the garlic, onion, the potatoes, carrots. That's how I do it. We do it differently.
Yeah.
But no, we both still be making love to every single vegetable.
Putting that energy in it every time. That good feeling.
Like usually when it's just me getting prepared for the Caramore Sunday, well, when I'm in here cooking for Caramore Sundays, then I have my reggae music on and I'm dancing.
Okay. You gotta have a vibe while you preparing the food. What's your favorite artist to listen to while you making food? Who's your favorite artist?
Me, I have a whole different playlist. I listen to like a lot of different Afro beats, like Burna Boy.
Burna Boy.
He's cool. I listen to Pressure Blessed Pipe. He's a good one. Buju Banton. Just like different reggae, soca, Afro beats. Something to get you moving and everything. I don't really have like a necessary one favorite.
Yeah, you just turn the vibe on. You just turn the playlist on. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That's how I be in the morning time. I love music like that in the morning time to get you moving, especially if I'm smoking or something.
Oh yeah.
So where y'all see yourself taking more volume, right? What's the plan?
Global.
Global, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, really like I would say we talked about like getting a food truck and traveling with it too.
Okay.
Getting like an RV type of deal and putting that food truck on the back.
Okay.
I think a restaurant would be really cool too. Like that vibe.
That's the next step.
Yeah, so probably like the food truck to start with. Just so we can travel. We don't have to be in like a truck.
Yeah, I see that's a Okay, when did y'all start? Like, when did y'all make y'all first dollar off of Morofiyah?
When was the first Caramel Sunday?
That's
why I was
Caramel on
like, you
Sunday.
know.
Caramel on Sunday, baby, you know?
Yeah, when we had the first Caramel Sunday pop-up, that's when we like,
Pretty
no,
much like,
started official as Morofiyah, because definitely on the side, like, Sis used to sell her stuff on the side too. I did as well.
Yeah.
But that was before I was vegan. I would make like beef lumpia and stuff. But after I went vegan, I'm like, nah, we're not doing that. So the first time we made money as Morofiyah was at your Caramel Sunday.
That's lit. That's lit. So this is a couple months. It's like 6 months old. Okay. That's lit.
Alright. Yes.
Y'all both got kids, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do y'all try to with the business, do you see yourself passing the business on to your child, or doing this like for your child for real, like really trying to build a legacy for him?
yeah, Carissa's gonna be building her own legacy. She gonna be making her own like vegan stuff, and like she gonna be lit. But yeah, that's the goal though too, is to like.
Y'all like first generation, right? For y'all family to do this like thing for business.
I think official for me, but like my grandma who was from the Philippines, she used to sell party trays. Like this was before any social media or anything, so people would like call the house phone, and I remember just her trays of like fried rice, pancit, lumpia. So I kind of like remember seeing that as a kid. But as far as like getting it out bigger, like building from it, making a whole legacy to be able to pass to our children, yeah.
That's lit. That's lit. Y'all gonna do it. That's crazy. I know it's do it feel like pressure sometimes. Like do it feel a lot sometimes with being in the business, or trying to put a business together while running it.
For sure. I definitely say it's like little obstacles that can come out. Then you kind of like have to like take a step back and look at the picture again, and then realize like how you're gonna get around it, move forward with the solution. But just have faith, you know?
Yeah.
And I think because like both me and Sis, like we're genuine and passionate about it. We're not just like slapping something on being like, oh, it's vegan, because it's like vegan is kind of like a fad, I feel like right now too.
Yeah.
But nah, like it's vegan for real, and even like through what we're using and stuff, is like a healthier alternative.
Yeah. That's why I think y'all gonna really last. I can see y'all. I know y'all will last because y'all actually putting passion behind it. It's not just for the dollar. That's why a lot of businesses fail, because they've been doing it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
You know, but y'all got purpose behind it. So it's already intended for y'all to win.
For sure.
Yeah.
Even you can do this, Corb. Like,
yeah, you right.
See what we doing
That's what we
now?
here today, because I'm trying to learn a little bit myself.
So this is the oyster mushroom.
Okay, there's oyster mushroom. So I need me a pan. I grab me some oil, some cooking oil, right?
Grapeseed oil.
Some grapeseed oil. All right, boom, grapeseed oil. I throw it in the pan. I let it heat up, right? So I see it boil or popping. Okay,
like once you see it kind of like doing a little wave, like moving.
Okay. So I see it doing a little moving, a little wave. That's when I come in and throw the oyster mushrooms inside.
Okay, so whenever I do it, I really just throw the oyster mushroom in there first.
Okay.
Without grease. I let it just like cook, and then I season it, and then after it like crisps a little bit, I just put a little bit of oil, and then garlic and all the other good stuff.
How long do you take to cook?
I don't know. I don't be paying attention to time. I just be
Cooking it up. In the cooking like, what Miko say?
less than an hour though. It'd be like, you know, a good
Them like
30.
stir fry.
Yeah.
So less than an hour.
And it varies too, depends on what you're cooking.
That's my thing. I don't have a lot of patience sometimes, but I understand that's part of the process. But it makes you even enjoy the food more though, because you know you had to put that time and energy into it. I'm getting into it though. It's a slower process. I'm just starting to eat a little better. Now I'm gonna start, making my own food. Then I want to be able to grow my own food. You grow your own vegetables or your own food?
That's the goal, yeah.
Okay.
I got a bunch of mint and sage, and then it's warm now, so I'm about to get my red potatoes and all like my chilies.
You grow the potatoes too? And you said in chili?
Yeah, like red peppers.
Okay.
like chili pepper, I mean.
Okay.
But I grew some cucumbers, cantaloupe. You know, I grew a little something on the side, yeah.
Absolutely. You see, I had a mango tree back home, right?
Hmm?
You had a mango tree back in the Philippines?
Yeah. I miss that mango tree, yo.
That is dope. Imagine waking up, being able to grab a mango off the tree. A fresh mango.
That's definitely like a bigger goal for Morofiyah is to like go back to the Philippines and establish something like that.
You still have a lot of family out there?
I don't know. Thank you. I don't know my family out there really because when my grandma like was 6 years old, she had lost her mom and then her dad and stuff. Like her sisters, they kind of just like left. So then she was pretty much like on her own. I'm like, you give me over here struggling to get this shit.
So she was on her.
Nah, you're good though.
Since she was 6?
Pretty much.
Your
Like
grandma?
she started working at 6 years
Your
old.
grandma started working at 6 years old? That is different.
Yeah.
That is different. What kind of work was she doing at 6 years old?
Probably just what she needs to. You want that? I think she was just like cleaning for real.
At
Like,
6 though?
Yeah, she lost her mom, like, and that's kind of like why I go so hard, because she like put it in me, like, you gotta do for yourself.
She raised you?
You would sound so surprised, but like in like other countries, you clean at like 4. Like,
4?
yeah, like you better pick up a broom, like, and clean something. Or like if it's a farm out there, like you picking fruits. You know what I mean? Like they be putting children to work, and it's not work. Like they just it's just part of life. Yeah, exactly.
Kids here are so entitled nowadays.
You right though. It's crazy though. You don't even understand that. That's crazy. So you said she raised you. Grandma raised you though?
My mom's mom raised me, so not my Filipino grandma, but I would be over her house like every other weekend, so definitely a big influence. Both of my grandmas pretty much raised me.
So that's an eggplant, right?
Yeah.
What you put that in there too? What is that? Like,
We usually don't put it in there, but we're just making like a little variation today.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this is like
I'm not gonna lie, probably the first time I really knew what an eggplant was on Instagram when people using it as an emoji. So what is the eggplant good for? Like,
what's it good for?
yeah.
First of all, the more colors you eat, the better. And I ain't talking about, you know, like red dye and Gatorade and shit like that. I'm talking about like real color with vegetables. Purple, green, orange, red, like all of that is good for you.
Okay.
Like, the more colors, the better. Stay away from that white shit hold on, what's, like white rice is bad for you. Cauliflower.
Cauliflower?
Yeah.
But
that's a vegetable, yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
A hybrid plant, right? Yeah, I heard about those. You know, that's how they get it. There's so many vegetables and plants out here. They only tell us about a certain amount of them so they can maximize and capitalize off them. And they make half of the ones that they tell us about. So have y'all noticed any difference on y'all day-to-day life since being vegan? Like you
More
feel
energy.
Okay, more energy.
More energy. Not to sound gluttonous or nothing, but you could eat a lot more without getting fat for real.
Nah, that's fast. That's fast. I eat a lot more myself. Like when I order my food, I'm gonna get enough for now and maybe later. Maybe some dessert too, just so I know it ain't gonna be as bad. And it's not gonna hurt me when I eat it. I ain't gonna feel
Right.
bad after I eat it.
Biggest goal is like longevity. Being like when I was doing nursing the last 5 years, like seeing people at their end of life and just like the different diseases and cancers and stuff they had, it's all linked at the end of the day to like what you take into your body. So I know for that it was kind of like a big eye-opening for me, and I'm like, yeah, I can't be up in a nursing home at like 75 years old not being able to move around, because of the lifestyle that I chose. So
That's exactly what got me to it though. I got a lot of stomach issues though, and I feel it like in the mornings when I wake up so bad that I just gotta lay down, like I'm gonna throw up. And now it would be killing me, and it seemed like it got worse as I got older. And I was like, man, it feel like this now. I can't imagine what it's gonna feel like 10, 20 years from now. Like I might not be able to even really handle it.
you ever have some ginger?
Yeah, I do. I take ginger, and I see it's a lot. I don't deal with it now, and when I do, I know why I deal with it now. Like it's like if I feel that's like now, I know why I feel like that. I was eating like this 3 days ago, or I was doing this, that, and the third. But I know why I'm more aware of it now. But back then it was just like I felt it, and it was like I had to do something to change it. So I started small, like just trying to.
Proud of you.
You know, I mean, it's hard though. Like
Stop saying it's hard. It's easy.
Right, it's easy. It takes discipline. It takes discipline, and sometimes it's easy to revert back to what I know. Because a lot of my favorite meals, you know, are seafood meals. Like
it's the parasites in your stomach that's like, give me the
you right though. Because when I start eating it, I can't put it down. I'll take that first bite and I'm addicted. Like I can't
eat
put
some
it
more
down.
pumpkin seeds. That's
Some
the
more pumpkin
parasite
seeds?
killer.
Pumpkin seeds. I don't know. I'm about to dip them in some sauce or something.
I
I don't
want
know.
to get just a couple.
I'm dipping pumpkin seeds in some sauce. See, that's one thing about being vegan. You know, everything isn't good. You know, just because you know it's good for you don't mean it's good. You gotta make it taste good sometimes. Add some juices to it or something, some sauce. Some should be raw. You know, it's real. Like a carrot, you might. When I was younger, I added ranch to all my carrots just because they weren't good enough. You gotta add some little sauce to it sometimes, but you gotta figure out what's the sauce for you. You feel me? What's good for you? That's the fun part of it. You know, really putting that love in it, figuring out what's the right ingredients for you, making it really hit. Like, okay, now, I'm sure that's what made y'all. Another reason that made y'all want to start the business. Like, y'all seen how it made people feel. Like, when's the first time y'all seen somebody really react joyfully off of tasting y'all food?
I would say like the first pop-ups.
So it wasn't even before that?
No, I was gonna say my babies.
I don't say at home.
Junior,
I know some of your kids that said something.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking like more of like,
No, it's like the smaller here. See your kids, they tasted it. Seen that smile on their face, like, oh yeah, man, this that crack.
Like,
this
what's
is
the
so
bus? And they be
good.
like,
They don't even know it either. They're like, oh, this is that chicken, give me some more.
My nephews, they be like, this vegan? This vegan, right, Arnold? Because you don't eat. I'll be like, yeah, it tastes like. I'll be like, yeah. You don't need none of that, bro.
That's lit. Well, you even be exposing your nephews and nieces to this though. Like that's what we're supposed to do. Because I mean, we can't force anybody to do nothing though. But you want to give them the tools to be able to prepare themselves and have a better advantage in life though.
And to just teach them and like stop lying to our children. Like,
Yes.
if they knew what they were eating, do you think they would eat it?
I mean, it's still their choice. They still gonna do it until they figure out why
But
they
I'm
want to
saying,
change
as a child though, if they knew that that was a dead, that they saw
You right.
what had happened, how this plant,
You right.
this child, look, cut that shit out because I ain't even meant to say that, but this animal, how the chicken was killed and
How hot dogs are made.
all of that.
No, that's
And
fascinating.
what's in the hot dog.
I actually showed my kids some of that video, and they reference it all the time whenever they don't eat hot dogs no more. But they still eat chicken and stuff, but they won't eat hot dogs. They'll say something like, "No, I don't want that." They killed that. They made it look sad. Like they'll reference the video I showed them. But I mean, because of everybody around them,
That's a good thing.
because of everybody around them and the food options that they see on the daily, they still want to go for it. It's like candy. Like they're not gonna not want some candy just because they know, oh, it might be some animal fat in that, or dead animal meat in
still
it.
gonna eat it.
Yeah, they still want that airhead. What's that? Them gummy worms, whatever it is.
That pork.
They want it. I mean, so it's like, but like I said, you prepare them. Like we're not meant to be perfect. Like we had to go through it. Like you had to be able to go through it and understand why you didn't want to eat it.
Right,
We can't expect them to be the same way. But we gotta prepare them so they make some better choices. Though.
It's also just being, I don't want to say ignorant, but just not knowing.
Yeah.
Period. Like you don't know, so you just do it.
Yeah.
And then just like we're also taught to just do what we're told, not ask questions. So even if we, as a child, if you felt some type of way, it's like, oh, I gotta do it anyway because I don't want to waste no food. Like,
you right.
There's been times where I didn't want to eat this shit, but I had to eat it because I was gonna get in trouble.
You right.
And then I'd be in the bathroom throwing the fuck up.
That's that. So I was just out in the country in Alabama this summer. I seen a man, he seen some chicken on a man's plate, but I throw it away. He said, "No, we don't waste no meat around here. Hand that to me. We don't waste no meat, boy. Hand that to me." Like, so
Stomach fucked up.
You right though. They force us like, yeah, don't. You better eat them green beans and that chicken. Don't waste that. Eat them bones and everything. What?
The bones, not the
Eat
bones.
the gristle. Maybe eat the gristle.
Chill.
Hey, nah, you be snacking on the gristle. Even with the crabs. You be eating, what's they call it? The dead man inside the crabs.
That's that country shit.
Yeah, they got shit called the dead man inside. People don't care. It's just, you just gotta, like I said, you gotta give them tools. Cause they gonna make their own choices.
Yeah.
We made our choices as well, but that's why you had the power to be able to have that discipline that, all right, no, I'm not doing it. So now you gonna get that exposure to somebody else. So eventually it's gonna come out in the right point. Like they gonna have remember, oh yeah, I did taste this vegan food before. It wasn't that bad. Maybe all vegan food isn't that bad. All because of that one time they tasted yours though. Y'all thing. Y'all doing y'all thing. Doing it good too.
If you need any water or anything,
Yeah, you got some vegetable broth or